crazy busy day of comedy news. I'm Johnny Mac. I come before you to condemn a late night joke. This might be the worst joke ever attempted by a late night host. It's from Stephen Colbert, who I'm sure told it better than I did. You ready? Hold on. I felt a great disturbance in the force because we just learned that James Earl Jones is retiring from the role of Darth Vader. Time out. I'll jump in there. Okay, that's a good premise, right? Everything's fine there. All right, let's do it again. Hold on. I felt a great disturbance in the force because we just learned that James Earl Jones is retiring from the role of Darth Vader in Star Wars. He'll now be playing Baby Yoda. That's terrible. Trevor Noah with a much better take. You see, The Little Mermaid becomes black and they take away James Earl Jones. I told you there'd be backlash. I told you. That voice is iconic. It belongs in Darth Vader's body or announcing CNN promos, but that's it. Much better, Trevor. The New York Comedy Festival has announced a whole bunch of shows. The festival is November 7th through the 13th. Chelsea Music Hall announced that they would be one of the venues this year with over 50 comedians and 13 shows. Let's run down them quickly. Get out a pen. November 7th. Repentance, hosted by Mekhi Leeper and Ahmed Weinberg. Weinberg is an LA-based comedian from Philadelphia who recently made his late-night stand-up debut on Seth. He was one of Vulture's 20 comics to watch and was one of the new faces at the 2016 Just for Laughs festival in Montreal. Also on the 7th, Wolves of Glendale is a comedy band that has opened for David Cross. On the 8th, HBO Max presents Ian Lara and Friends. On the 9th, Sam Morrison's Sugar Daddy. In this show, Sam Morrison grapples with the death of his partner. He makes grief hilarious through tales of love, diabetes, and seagull attacks. Sugar Daddy is fresh off its hit run at 2022's Edinburgh Fringe. November 9th, Dynasty Typewriter. LA's premier destination for comedy and enchanting experiences. They're in New York for one night only. November 10th, Two Nights with the Chunga Girls. Two Nights, with a number 2 in there, is a fast-moving, character-driven late-night talk show inspired by the childhood memories of Sábado Gigante. Remember that? Oh, we used to watch that. We didn't even know what was going on. That was a great show to stare at. And their fondness for shows like The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. I thought that was going to say Carson. I'm dating myself. But it's the Chunga Girls. So you're going to get all the Miami and the baggage that comes with them. In 2007, two attention-seeking 17-year-old best friends from Miami got bored and decided to declare to the world who they were via YouTube. The result, viral sensation, Chungalicious. Sounds like fun. November 10th as well. Waggy Tail's Rescue Best in Show plus Telethon. Waggy Tail Rescue's Best in Show is a celebrity and rock star karaoke riddled mix of comedy and live band karaoke. Sounds like a good time. Audience members can purchase raffle tickets for items for the opportunity to rock out on stage with a live karaoke band. 11/11 Baby Gay. An hour-long musical train wreck with 10 original songs that will teach the audience that everybody has a baby gay inside of them wanting to be set free. That also sounds like fun. Also 11/11, the Chris Murphy Show. Chris Murphy is a rising star who previously worked for New York Magazine and Vulture and covers TV, film, theater, awards, and the entertainment industry for Vanity Fair. He was once cut out of an episode of Law & Order SVU. November 12th, Celebrity Memoir Book Club. I like these shows. They're very different. Claire Parker and Ashley Hamilton host a live version of the Celebrity Memoir Book Club podcast featuring stand-up, celebrity gossip, and more. On the 12th, another show by Chris Murphy. On the 13th, Alex English, currently a writer for SNL. But the biggest announcement of them all, November 10th. Yes, I went out of calendar sequence there because this is a big announcement. Joe Coy, Madison Square Garden. Joe Coy says, "This is going to be the biggest night of my career. I'm playing Madison Square Garden in NYC, November 10th. Deadline caught my attention with this headline. Hannah Gadsby signs multi-title comedy deal with Netflix a year after calling streamer an amoral algorithm cult. Good headline. Deadline says the new special is being recorded on the Australian leg of the Body of Work World Tour, which focuses on romance and Hannah Gadsby's recent marriage. It'll be recorded this week at the Sydney Opera House and premiere in 2023. Gadsby will also produce and host a multi-comic special featuring an international cast of comedians. So this article is comparing it to Pete Davidson Presents Friends. It's kind of like that, minus Pete Davidson, minus Pete Davidson's friends, plus Hannah Gadsby, plus her friends. You get it. Now, Deadline, good job. They're just not going to put out a press release and be like, oh yeah, that's cool. They point out that Hannah Gadsby, during that whole Chappelle Gate thing, had said, "Hey, Ted Sarandos," the Netflix boss, "just a quick note to let you know that I would prefer if you didn't drag my name into your mess. Now I have to deal with even more of the hate and anger that Dave Chappelle fans like to unleash on me every time Dave gets $20 million to process his emotionally stunted partial worldview." Had to take a deep breath and do an edit there. "You didn't pay me nearly enough to deal with the real-world consequences of the hate speech dog whistling you refuse to acknowledge, Ted. F you and your amoral algorithm cult. I do poos with more backbone than you. That's just a joke. I definitely didn't cross the line with you because you just told the world there isn't one." Well, apparently, Sarandos and Gadsby are getting along. Perhaps somebody wrote a check. I don't know, Hannah. But Hannah says that the special will be a chance for the world to hear these voices for the first, but definitely not the last time. In an effort to further open a door that I had to fight to get through myself, I will curate and host a lineup show on Netflix featuring 6 new gender-diverse comedians in a notorious transphobic industry. I'm looking to broaden the scope of opportunities for genderqueer performers from around the globe, as well as expand the diversity of offerings to audiences on one of comedy's biggest platforms. Coupled with an mentorship initiative for these up-and-coming comics, the program airs to foster the professional development of a demographic still struggling to have their voices heard. That is cool. TJ Miller has a new special out today. Who knew this was even coming other than TJ Miller? Well, the laugh button says TJ Miller is back with a brand new stand-up special. Dear Jonah, filmed at the Zanies in Nashville, TJ's first special in 6 years. When TJ was taping the special, he started getting heckled by an audience member named Jonah. So what did TJ do? He changed course mid-shooting the special and then decided to just focus on Jonah. So the laugh button says we got more of an improvisational special than TJ initially intended. That sounds like a good time. It is on YouTube today. Now, I got to watch football tonight, and I got a busy weekend, so I don't know when I'm going to get to TJ Miller's special, nor do I know when I'm going to get to Nick Kroll's new special that's on Netflix, but MartinCID.com saw it. Spoilers coming up here. They write, "We now understand why Nick Kroll became a comedian. Yes, a childhood trauma that forced him to see the humor in embarrassing situations, the unfortunate effects of having lactose intolerance during a karate demo, and to top it off, a speech impediment. He comments hilariously on the Atkins diet, segues, and having his heart broken for the first time when he was 33. And as a result of a focus group evaluation of the relationship he was in. Ouch. Wait for it. He covers the issue of being the youngest in the sibling pack. That definitely gives way for a number of good jokes. And there is more, says Martin CID. Vulture also saw the special and they wrote, if there's anything Kroll likes more than doing a fun, vaguely demonic voice, it's telling a poop joke. Who can blame him? He's hardly alone. And the scatological portions of Little Big Boy are some of the most striking, evocatively told segments in the hour. There are obviously things Kroll has spent a great deal of time considering, such as the cause of diarrhea, the futility of trying to fight it, the euphemisms, the universality, the shivering, the hair rising on your arms. Kroll has a mastery of the whole experience. He has keen observational powers, but in Little Big Boy, they're almost wholly devoted to what it feels like when your bowels go awry. The first story in childhood karate class sets the tone. The second one, in a restaurant and then a car, escalates the experience. By the third explosive diarrhea joke, you come away so sorry that Kroll has spent much of his life enduring and meditating on this particular feeling. But Vulture throws in there the momentum of those opening stories starts to falter towards the end as Kroll shifts into a more straightforward retelling of the past several years of his life. When he starts to run out of steam or feels hampered by the comparative adultness of jokes about being a husband and father, you wonder why he can't transform back into an imp coyly grinning behind a stool. It'd be much more fun and memorable than the shrug Kroll offers at the end. Ouch. Tracy Morgan was on the Manningcast the other night. I missed this. I was watching Buck and Aikman. Apparently, it was quite funny. Tracy Morgan claimed that former Georgia running back and Republican senator candidate Herschel Walker is his third cousin. He referred to Tony Dorsett as his biological father and daddy, which caught the Manning brothers and Dorsett off guard. He also claimed that he went to high school with Saquon Barkley's father and asked Peyton Manning what it was like to go up against Giants great Lawrence Taylor. Peyton Manning said, LT's rookie year was 1982. I was 6. All right, let's see what's going on at Just for Laughs Montreal tonight. Bunch of shows at 7 o'clock. Veer Daz, Ivan Decker, Beth Stelling, Nick Thune, Mike Birbiglia, Emmy Blotnick. Let's see, who haven't we seen so far? We haven't seen Birbiggs or Emmy. Let's go see Birbiggs. 8 o'clock, Marito Lopez, Mission Totally Possible, pregame comedy. And then at 8:30, JFL 420 with Mike Rita and Absolute Comedy. Let's see what JFL 420 is. I think we know. For over a decade, comedian Mike Rita hosted a law-breaking underground comedy show that was world famous for one thing. It was one of the only open 420 friendly comedy shows in the world. Each week, people from around the city, locals and tourists alike, packed Stoner Sundays. All right, that sounds like a good time. Let's do that at 8:30. 9 o'clock, Joel Kim Booster, Dakota Ray Hebert, and Nick Thune, but we're still at 4:20, so we can't see any of those. The Late Shows, Melissa Villasenor, Randy Feldface, and Nick Thune. I think we've seen them all. Maybe we'll just hang out at the 4:20 show and, might be an early night for us, or might be a very late night for us. Ardal OHanlon has returned to New York. You're like, who's that? He's the guy from Father Ted. Have you ever seen Father Ted? If you are of Irish roots like I am, you know about Father Ted. Father Ted was about 3 priests who lived on an island. It was pretty funny. There was like the old drunk priest, the pastor priest, and then the young guy that didn't want to be a priest at all. Ardal OHanlon played the young guy. Best known for the role of Father Dougal in the iconic Father Ted. It's a role he once wanted to escape, but now he embraces. He says there was time for a few years after the show when it became a little bit of a burden insofar as all people wanted to talk about. As a still relatively young comedian, stroke actor at the time, I just wanted to get on with my life and career. I think it's taken me this long to really appreciate it, and I look back very fondly on the character on the show, on the people I worked with, and the whole circus around us now. I think about it very fondly indeed. Does it define him? Listen, to be honest with you, you could be defined in a far worse way, so just to have that in your locker is a great thing. You know what? I'd settle for that in the final reckoning on Judgment Day. On Comedy Judgment Day, I should rephrase that. I'm immensely proud of my association with it. OHanlon also stars in Dairy Girls. Maybe you've seen that on the Netflix. He says, I play a cameo in a couple episodes on Series 2, then I play the same part in Series 3, the very final episode of all time, which is a full-length episode which centers around the Good Friday Agreement. All right, what can we expect from your shows in New York City? He says, I guess it's about where I'm in my life now. It's the rantings and ravings of a man my age. A lot of it is about lifestyle, and the choices we make is about navigating your way through life. And, life is chaotic for most people. The world seems to be falling apart at the seams in so many ways now, so it's about poking fun at the world as I find it, but also sort of about my pathetic reaction to that as well. It covers a lot of subjects. Ardal OHanlon plays the NYIC September 29, 30, and October 1, 8 o'clock. For tickets, visit the NewYorkIrishCenter.org. And that is your comedy news for today. Follow this show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.